Good morning, my friends. How are we doing today? I'm doing well. I have a piece of hair in my eye. Um, Today is Wednesday, Wednesday, May 8th. And I wanted to come on here and let you guys know that I finished reading Meet Me on the Bridge by Sarah J. Harris. Um, I really enjoyed the book. I really enjoyed it. Um, I gave it like 4.25 again. That seems to be my favorite scoring number so far. But as with any time traveling story, sometimes you get confused. Um, so this girl went back to the past and back to the past and at different points. And there were some spots where it got a little murky. I had to like really, I'm like, what happened and when did that happen? Was that before? Was that? So that's the only reason it didn't get a 5. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I am so glad that I picked it up and that I came across it when I was looking for a new book to start reading. Like I said, that one was not on my TBR list at all. I just happened to come across it, and I was like, that sounds really good. I just finished my book and I need a new one to read. I'm going to read this one instead of putting it on my TBR and then God knows when I would have gotten to it, because that's what happens normally. Um, I can feel the hair, but I can't find where it is. It's like around here somewhere. I just can't find it, and it keeps tickling my eye and my cheek. So as soon as I finished that one, I picked up, I told you about this one, How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwong. Now, this one, I thought was a comedy. All right. I know I read to you what happens on the back, and when I refreshed myself by looking at the back, I was like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. I thought it was a comedy. Okay. And even in the very first chapter, right? The very first sentence, all things considered, her little sister's funeral is a pretty boring affair. I laughed. Thought it was a comedy, and I was like, well, that's a good way to start a book. Then I started reading, and I'm like, this isn't funny. Like, I don't get it, because this isn't funny at all. Um, so that's when I went back and I reread the back, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's right, this isn't a comedy. But like for quite a few pages, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to continue reading this, because this isn't what I thought. Once I cleared my head, which is kind of weird. Once I cleared my head, I was like, oh, that's right, it's not a comedy. And I was reading it, I was like, okay, it's getting better now that I've straightened it out in my head. Um, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought it was a comedy. So it's not. If any of you pick this up, it is not a comedy. Okay. Um, I did not read very much. I only read like 44 pages last night. Um, see, I watch all these YouTubers. I watch quite a few. I watch regularly like 3 or 4 YouTubers. But there are some that get on and tell you about the book by walking you through the story. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. You know what I mean? But I could probably tell you this because it's all spelled out in like the first chapter. So I forgot her name. There is Grant, who in the first chapter is a high schooler. There is Helen, who is the older sister, and then there was Michelle, who was the younger sister. And I don't know what happened yet because they don't really get into it, but it starts out at Michelle's funeral, and it is spelled out that Grant hit her with his car. But you don't know what happened, you don't know why. Grant has a lot of remorse. He's very ashamed by what he did, and like it was a complete accident. It wasn't that I don't think he was drinking and driving. I think it was just an accident. Said something about Michelle jumping out in front of his car. So it really sounds like a complete accident on his part. I just don't have all of the everything that's happened. Um, he is a screenwriter. She is an author, and her book has been. She has a series of books, and her books have been picked up to be made into a TV show. And Grant ends up being chosen to be the screenwriter. So right now they're just like bantering back and forth, and she's like, I don't want you on this show, and he's like, I don't know what to tell you, blah blah blah. So, like I said, 45 pages in, I don't have much going on, but I'm hoping it's going to get really good. It is a Reese. This is her May book of the month. Her last one I really enjoyed, so I'm hoping I'm going to really enjoy this one. The next few books that I have to read, so in, this is May, in April, I read like 5 books, and they were all over 400 pages, 400 to 700 pages. They were all really fat, chunky books. Sometimes I like that because I feel like you can get more story, more background, more descriptions of the worlds that they're in, stuff like that. And sometimes it's just too much. Iron Flame, that's how I felt with Iron Flame. That was over 600 pages long, and all they did was fought. That, like, that was my impression. Like, that's all that happened. And then, of course, it ended on a cliffhanger. So, yeah. I've talked about that before, where I really felt like Iron Flame could have been broken up into 2 separate stories at 300 pages apiece, and that would have been perfectly fine, and it would have kept me going. But my 3 TBR books for May are all under 400 pages, so I'm hoping I can get through them a little bit quicker. This one is 368. Yeah, 368. So I'm hoping I can get this one done before the weekend. Of the 3, this one was, like, I really want to read Funny Story by Emily Henry, so I probably should have just picked that up. But I wanted to get through the books that I thought I might need to push myself through a little bit, and this is one of them. Not in a bad way. I just knew that if it sat for too long, I wouldn't pick it up. Why? I don't know. Cover's not really grabbing me. So, yeah. I was like, of all 3 of the books, this one looks the most boring, which sounds awful. But I was like, if it just sits here, I'm not, like, I don't know if I'll pick it up. So I'm going to pick this one up first, and I'm going to read it first. So that's what I did. So I have like an hour before I have to leave for work. So I think I'm going to sit back and read a little bit more of this. I do not have any appointments today after work, and I don't even have to cook today because I made some chicken yesterday, 2 days ago. I cooked some chicken breasts, and last night I made a really big salad, and we just had grilled chicken. Not grilled chicken, it was baked chicken, but baked chicken salads. It was like 77 degrees. The sun was shining. It was absolutely beautiful. And that was exactly what we felt like eating. So that's what we had. And I think we're going to have the same today. I'm going to go have breakfast. I'm going to sit down and read for a little bit. And that's it. So I'll check in with you guys really soon. Hopefully I can make some really good progress in how to end a love story. And we'll see what happens. Check in with you guys later. Have a good one.